Even yet?
No, I'm not going to do it.
Well, you're just anti
I'm not
leg
black.
washes.
I'm not going to wash my legs and feet.
I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing. Because
I've only met poors who use them. I've never met.
Wait, but is it also European? Because I have European friends that do it as well.
Maybe they're poor. I don't know.
I'm black by all standards, right? I'm also poor by the first world country standards. And I have never used a washcloth to have my bath. Also, some board certified dermatologists advise that you don't wash your legs when having your bath or when having a shower. They also say that you're not supposed to have your bath every day. Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to be talking about some statements made by some podcasters on bathing technique or the use of washcloth to have your bath. Now, they said that apparently it's only poor people that use washcloth and it's only blacks that wash their legs. Now, let's check out some of the reactions of people to what they said. Then I will come back to explain why I've never used a washcloth and what those dermatologists were saying about washing the leg and also not having your bath every day. So let's get into this video.
I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing. Because
I've only met poors who use them. I've never met.
Wait, but is it also European? Because I have European friends that do it as well.
Maybe they're poor. I don't know.
I don't know. But we never did in my house.
No,
there was
it's
no
disgusting.
time for that.
No. I've ended friendships when I saw washcloths. I'm serious. I don't want that stink on me, that like poor stink.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but in this family, we clean. And we also clean with a rag. So if you taking a bath and you just putting the soap on your body without lathering up a rag, we're going to need for you to step forward and drop your resignation letter off at the door.
Tried even yet?
No, I'm not going to do it.
Well, you're just anti
I'm not
leg
black.
washes.
I'm not going to wash my legs and feet.
You think that's just a black people thing?
Clearly.
Well, and he's
the only one here who took the day off. Washes his legs and feet. No, I don't think it's a black thing. I think using washcloth is for poor people, but I don't think that washing your legs and feet is for black people.
I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing. Because
I've only met poors who use them.
And if you don't bathe with a rag, I bet your stomach stink. I bet your navel dirty. I know the moment you put some alcohol on a rag and hit that back, your back gonna be black. And that's no matter what's your nationality. And I know under your neck sour. But that ain't even for me to keep on going with. But let me know in the comments how you bathe. Whether you one of the poor that use a rag, you amongst the wealth and you just bathe with the water. But whichever side you play on, I'm gonna be your favorite cousin Brandon and not provide news for the culture.
Washcloths are for poor people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've only had one friend use wash.
So when y'all said y'all were filthy rich, y'all meant literally filthy. Because right before this, y'all were talking about how only black people wash their legs and feet. Y'all don't clean y'all whole body? And then the fact that you're using your hand, you're not using a towel. How the fuck are you actually getting the dirt off of you? The towel lifts the dirt. If you're not using that, use a fucking loofah, something. Your hands don't clean you. That's nasty. You know what? I'd rather be poor as hell using a washcloth than ever be as nasty as that shit.
Are washcloths only for poor people? Or rather, is it that only poor people use washcloths? Guys, this is a ridiculous question. I know you feel that way. I do too. It kind of makes me cringe even to ask this, but I'm saying this because apparently two podcasters recently went on their podcast saying that they believe that the use of washcloths was only for those people who were poor, that those were the only people who used them. We know this is ridiculous. And it's even insulting and degrading. I can't even believe somebody would ask this. I grew up using washcloths. I still use them. I recommend people wash with a washcloth and soap. I recommend that to my patients, to myself, to people I know. Of course, there are many different ways to wash and to wash adequately, but that is my preferred style. The idea that someone would associate using a washcloth with socioeconomic status or class seems just wrong. It is wrong. And it worries me that some people will hear that and actually believe it. And that is ridiculous. As you know, I'm a big fan of washcloths. I'm curious, have you ever heard anyone say that they believe washcloth use was related to class or how much money someone had? I'm really curious about this. This type of dialogue is potentially harmful and it's potentially dangerous. It's not healthy. It's not good. It's not even.
Washcloths are for poor people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've only had one friend use washcloth.
How many have heard this dumb shit about poor people with washcloths? This is $100,000 home here, and guess what? I like my ass clean. You dumb bitch. You probably stink too, because if you use your hands and your soap, you stink. And I wouldn't touch your soap with a 10-foot pole. You so goddamn dumb. You wash because you want your shit clean. You want that shit off of you from the pollution in the street and shit. You're such a dumb bitch. I know your ass stink because you don't use a washcloth. Boo, come to my house. You're going to use one. And guess what? This is $100,000 home and you're going to use washcloth. Poor people don't need washcloths. Everybody need washcloths, you dumb bitch.
What's an unwritten rule from your world that rich people just wouldn't understand?
Y'all said it, not me. But apparently, there is a TikTok going around where a rich, wealthy man is saying that using a washcloth is for poor people. And that same wealthy, rich man used the washcloth, and it was a little brown on the white washcloth. And before you ask, yes, he was.
did you, when growing up, use a washcloth?
No, not really. No, there was one in the house.
Yeah.
I didn't really use it.
Did you use one in the?
Yeah, we had washcloths. Yeah, we had washcloths.
Yeah.
Your Honor,
Okay.
this case is
We've
closed.
been on this for years actually,
Sure.
but it just came back into the conversation.
zeitgeist,
Yeah,
yeah.
the zeitgeist is that
Time they say it on
I
their
never even heard
Really?
or seen anybody be like, here's a washcloth for the shower. I'd never seen it until I was in college, and some of my poorer friends, I befriended them. They would go
Such
like
charity work.
Yeah, they were like, I like crash at their house, and they'd be giving me this little towel. I go, what the fuck is this? And they're like, it's a washcloth, and I was like, for what? And they're like, for the shower, and I was like, you can keep that.
Yeah.
And then so we've been talking about
What
it
were you
more.
using as a kid?
Just hands and soap. That's all.
Really?
I'd never even heard of this.
You can't
And,
scrub with that, though.
But here's the thing that
I don't know. I mean, we were trash, but we weren't that bad, I feel like.
I thought that was nuts.
No.
We said that bit. That's where the line is.
But you know why I think it's disgusting? Is the reusing element of
That's
the
what I don't
washcloth.
like.
Oh, we had one washcloth for the whole family. I mean, there was other ones.
I think it's interesting that they said that, I didn't post it, but the guy basically said you can tell pretty much like the diversity in who uses a washcloth and who doesn't, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, when I grew up, my dad always taught us to use a washcloth and use a bath towel, you know what I'm saying? So use the washcloth to bathe yourself, use your bath towel to dry yourself off. You can definitely tell the diversity in this. You damn right. You definitely can tell the diversity. It's not shaming nobody that don't use a washcloth, but at the same time, how dare you sit there and say that it pretty much is like a poor thing that we do. Baby, if I wanted to do something, if I really want to do something, I could stop using my towels and my washcloths and just use the soap and just bathe my body. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of cheap. You know what I'm saying? I think that's actually a really cheap idea to just use your hands and soap. But my ancestors wanted to use a little bit more. We wanted to use a washcloth. So I don't really get the perspective in that. I don't get the idea of that. Maybe you trying to save money, my backhand people. But it's just kind of like, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to wash our ass. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to talk more about it. Second video.
Okay, first of all, that white podcaster, the first one, the one that's saying is for poorer people, blah, blah, blah. He's so condescending, like, I befriended them. Then did they say something like, you befriended poorer people, like charity case? Like, what the heck? Anyway, that aside. Okay, now for me, like I said, I have never used the washcloth to have my bath or shower because until maybe like some months ago, I didn't even know what Black Americans called washcloth. I was like, what is that? Is that a type of sponge or something? Until I watched like a clip of a show. I don't even know the name of the show, but I remember that the one of the main lead, the female lead, is one of the people that acted in Two Broke Girls, the blonde girl that was rich that became poor because her father did some things. So she's in that new sitcom, and I watched it, and I saw the washcloth that they gave her. Her black neighbor gave her a washcloth, and I saw it was like a mini towel. In Nigeria we call it face towel. I know it as face towel. So like, is that the washcloth you guys are talking about? So I've never used that. In Nigeria, what we use, most people who grew up in the 90s probably use what we call the local sponge. It's called, personally, it's called konkon. I call it konkon. It's called konkon. Konkon is sponge in Yoruba. Now, konkon means sponge, like I said, in Yoruba. So any sponge might be called konkon. But for me, if you say you want to buy konkon, or I want to use konkon, I would just immediately think you want to use the local sponge. So this is the local sponge. This is how it is. It's kind of like, it's from the palm tree, so one of the byproducts of a palm tree, and so it is really like very abrasive, and it will remove everything. But there are different types. There are some that are really like very strong, then there are some like soft. Depending on how frequently you use it, it eventually becomes softer, but when you first get it, it's very like hard and abrasive. So this most people used growing up. Now people use it for super exfoliation or to wash plates. So that is one of the first things we've used. Then we also have like our net sponge. I know on Amazon or some sites, UK, US, Canadian sites, you see it called African net sponge, but it's just sponge to us. It's the net sponge. So it's like a long net sponge. There are different types. There are different texture. There are some that are really strong when you first get it, but we frequently use it becomes softer. There's some that the holes are very small. There's some that the holes are very big. So that's the second one that I've used. Then I've also used loofah. Now I saw a video of how someone uses his washcloth, and I'm going to put it up now.
I'm going to teach you guys how I use my shower washcloths and what I do with them after the shower. So step one, you grab a washcloth and you get yourself into the shower. Now normally I'd be naked for this part, but this is TikTok and not that other website. You know what I'm talking about. So what I do is I unroll them and I get it wet, put in some shower gel, soap, whatever you feel like, and then just really lather it up. Soap it down, you know, work it into a good lather. And then soap yourself down. I like to hit the pits, you know, the chest, behind the ears, whatever. You really got to make sure you're getting all up in anywhere that's foldy or crevicey, you know what I mean? The beautiful thing is you can use multiple washcloths for this. If you don't want to use the same washcloth on your beehole that you're using on your armpits, you could get a couple. You could get 2 or 3, whatever. So when you're done, I wring it out and you can hang it up either right here in your shower like this one. Then when it's dry, throw it in the hamper. If you don't like having washcloths hanging around, you can wring it out and just kind of throw it on the side of your hamper like that so it dries. So to clarify, you only use it once and then you throw it in the hamper. So every time you shower, you have a brand new one to use.
So basically, because it's a washcloth, is a mini towel, and you can wash it with just one use. So definitely, I see why people prefer to use the washcloth as against the loofah. Now, why a lot of people don't use a loofah is because, you know, a loofah is into ball size. A loofah is actually like the softer net of our net sponge. Is like softer, and it has tiny holes that is wrapped in is balled up. So because of those crevices, it can retain moisture, which can lead to breeding of bacteria. So I guess that's why people don't like the loofah. But with our net sponge, with the one that I would describe before, because of its long and you can just hang it, Like there's no crevices, everything is just longer. It has a wider, I would say a wider surface area, so it can dry. Every part of it can dry faster and easily, and there's no hidden space where the moisture will be and to now start breeding bacteria. So I understand why people would prefer the washcloth, because you can get like 7 or 14 and use one a day and throw it in your laundry basket, wash it, dry, and then use again. So I understand why it's preferred to loofah, but the washcloth to me is really like soft, and I don't think it will do anything on my skin. And then the fourth one, I think, yeah, the fourth thing I've used while having my bath or having a shower is the exfoliating gloves. Now, when I use a scrub, a sugar or salt scrub, I use my hand to apply it. But because I'm using like an exfoliating body wash, I'm using the St. Ives sea salt and kelp body wash, and it's an exfoliating body wash, so it's not as exfoliating as a body scrub, but it does the work. So I use the exfoliating glove to like get more exfoliating property. So it's like just a body wash with a bit of exfoliation, and then I use the exfoliating glove to like make it more exfoliating. So that's what I've used. I've never used the washcloth, and I don't think I'm going to use it because washcloth is mini towel and it's soft. Now I decided to take a look at what Asians, especially Koreans, use. And you know, Koreans are on this skincare game. They know they play, they don't play with skincare. So I decided to check what they use. Do they use a washcloth? Do they use a sponge? But apparently they use a washcloth, but not the washcloth that we know. It's a different type of washcloth.
This is how you age like an Asian, part 3. White moms will tell you to use a soft washcloth and get it all sudsy to gently clean your body. But Asian moms know that's a bunch of baloney. They use a Korean exfoliating cloth that is so rough it could sand down a 2x4. And they scrub your body from head to toe with it, peeling off all your dead skin. Sure, it feels like you've fallen off a motorcycle going 80 miles an hour wearing just yoga pants, but Korean ajumas don't give a shit. They know that when they're done scrubbing off your entire epidermis, your skin will feel as soft as a pork bun.
Okay, listen, let me put you guys on something. Most people, when they shower and they want to exfoliate their bodies, they use like a body scrub or like a washcloth or something. But let me show you what Koreans do. We have these things. This is called a daesugan, which in direct translation means dead skin towel. You soak in the tub for about 10 to 15 minutes in some hot water, make your skin all nice and soft, and then you put on this thing and then scrub your whole body down. Literally, brown strings of dead skin will come off your body. It is so satisfying, and then once you come out of the shower, you just lotion up your body and your skin is so soft. If you go to a Korean bathhouse, you can literally pay someone to scrub your entire body down. You lay on a bed and then they just do their thing.
Okay, you guys, when you have a Korean mother-in-law, she can turn you on to the best things. So if you want a good exfoliation in your shower, a Korean washcloth is where it's at. My mother-in-law has these all over her house. That's how I found out about them, and they are so good. She keeps them in every bathroom. They are so good. Let me see, I don't know if you can see how long they are. My dog's in the way. But they're so long, and so you're able to like get your back really good.
I want those washcloths. Like the longer one that the lady said she got from a Korean mother-in-law. It looks like our net sponge, but the holes are like tinier, and it's long, almost as long as how some of the net sponge that we have is, so that you can scrub your back. But I think this one is more, it's going to exfoliate more. Then the other one that is like a glove. Oh, I saw the demonstration of that. It was removing the skin cells. Like, man, if you use that twice a week, your skin will be smooth for ages. I don't think it's something that you can be using every day. It's going to be too much. So I definitely want the Korean washcloth. As for not washing your legs, I saw a particular dermatologist say that, and I was like, not me and you. First of all, I have to wash my legs because I start having my bath from my legs, because I suffer from what is called aquagenic pruritus. So if I use cold water, I'm going to itch immediately I finish having my bath. So I don't use cold water, I have to use hot water. I can't use hot water that is so hot. So my legs, my lower part, is the temperature check for me. So if I cannot stand the temperature when I apply water on my leg, then I cannot stand it all over my body. So I would have to adjust. So I always start washing up from my legs. I don't know about that, but me, I'm washing my leg, I'm washing my feet. Whatever the dermatologist is saying, I don't know. She said that by the time you finish washing your upper body and the rest, there's no need to wash the leg. I believe it was one person. I was like, okay, if that's for you, not for me. And then the next one of now having your bath every day. I don't understand. Like I said, I'm Nigerian. We try to have our bath every day. Sometimes you have your bath twice a day itself because of the weather. And even when I've gone to other countries, I will still have my bath every day, and even sometimes twice a day. Yes, I might not have my bath all the time. Out of 365 days, I probably have my bath like 355 days in a year. Sometimes it might not even be in the morning, it might be in the evening, but almost every day. Not the one that you do 2 days in a week. Ha! Why? For what? Not me. Any which way, what are your thoughts? Do you think the podcasters were right in saying that washcloth or using any form of sponge or something to wash your skin or to wash your body is for poor people? Do you think that washing of the legs is for black people? Do you think that not having your bath every day, like 3 times in a week, is okay? Do you think that's ideal? Do you participate in that? Do you do that? Do you know wash every day? Do you wash like 3 days in a week or 4 days in a week? Please, I would love to hear your thoughts about that. Please leave your comment in the comment section. Let's get this discussion popping. If you like videos such as this, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.